in a major diplomatic development that could reshape trade and security relations between the United States and China, President Donald Trump announced a reduction in tariffs following what he called an amazing meeting with Chinese President Xi Jinping. The two leaders met in Busan, South Korea, on the sidelines of the Asia-Pacific Economic Cooperation Summit, where Trump and Xi discussed some of the most pressing issues in global politics, from the fentanyl crisis to trade restrictions and the supply of rare earth minerals. By the end of the 1-hour, 45-minute meeting, Trump told reporters aboard Air Force One that the talks were nothing short of incredible, even going so far as to rate it a 12 out of 10. But beyond the smiles and handshakes, this meeting carried serious implications, both for America's domestic battle against fentanyl and for the global supply chain powering everything from smartphones to missile systems. Stay tuned, because in this video, we're breaking down what Trump and Xi agreed on, what it means for US-China relations, and how this could ripple across the world economy. And before we dive in, don't forget to like, subscribe, and comment your thoughts below. Do you think this agreement signals a new era of cooperation between the US and China, or is it just another short-term truce in a long trade war? According to officials traveling with President Trump, the meeting with Xi Jinping took place in a high-security zone at the South Korean Air Force Base in Busan, the same location where the two nations' delegations met behind closed doors for nearly 2 hours. This was the first in-person meeting between Trump and Xi since Trump's re-election, and expectations were high. Both leaders described their discussions as constructive, but Trump's tone went a step further. He called Xi a great leader of a great country, while Xi described Trump as a friend of China. Behind the cordial words, the agenda was weighty: trade restrictions, rare earths, fentanyl exports, and the ongoing military tensions in the Pacific. Trump emerged from the meeting glowing with optimism. He told reporters, "It was one of the most productive conversations I've ever had. We covered everything: trade, energy, national security, fentanyl, and I think you'll see real progress very soon." One of the most personal issues discussed was fentanyl, the synthetic opioid responsible for tens of thousands of deaths in the United States each year. The US government has long accused China of failing to stop the export of precursor chemicals used to manufacture fentanyl in Mexico. These chemicals often find their way into the US, fueling a devastating opioid epidemic. Back in early 2025, Trump imposed a 20% tariff on Chinese imports specifically tied to fentanyl production, citing it as a national health emergency. But after this latest meeting, Trump says he's reducing that tariff from 20% down to 10%, bringing the total duties on Chinese imports from 57% to 47%. According to Trump, Xi Jinping personally agreed to work very hard to crack down on illegal supply chains, a promise that Trump says will soon yield real action. "I think you'll see some real action taken," Trump told reporters aboard Air Force One. "President Xi gave me his word. He knows how serious this is for us." For many Americans, especially those impacted by the opioid crisis, this could mark a significant shift. If China truly enforces tighter controls on fentanyl precursors, it could cut off one of the key sources feeding the epidemic. But skeptics warn that similar promises have been made before, and that real progress will depend on enforcement, not words. Beyond fentanyl, another major breakthrough came in the form of a rare earth minerals agreement. Rare earths are essential materials used in semiconductors, batteries, defense technology, and AI systems, essentially the building blocks of modern technology. Trump confirmed that the US and China reached a 1-year deal to avoid any new restrictions or tariffs on rare earth exports. That means the threat of an additional 100% tariff on Chinese imports, which had been looming for months, is now off the table. For the global tech industry, this is huge. Rare earth minerals are already in short supply, and China dominates their production. Any restriction could have crippled chip manufacturing and raised prices for electronics, electric vehicles, and even defense systems. Trump emphasized that this temporary truce would give both sides time to develop a fairer framework for tech trade in 2026. "We reached a strong understanding," Trump said. "The US will not impose new tariffs on rare earths, and China will ensure stable, fair supply to American industries." This move is being hailed as a pause button on what could have been a devastating escalation in the global trade war. The meeting also solidified Trump's image as a deal-maker, returning to the international stage with renewed confidence. Trump called the meeting with Xi amazing, rating it a 12 out of 10, and saying it had reset the tone of U.S.-China relations. Xi, for his part, told Chinese media that the discussion was sincere and practical, focusing on cooperation rather than confrontation. Meanwhile, markets reacted positively. U.S. stock futures rose and Asian markets opened higher as investors bet on reduced trade tensions. Even Wall Street analysts, often cautious about Trump's trade announcements, agreed that this deal could temporarily stabilize the U.S.-China economic relationship. One major expectation before Trump's Asia tour was a possible meeting with North Korea's Kim Jong-un. But Trump confirmed that the meeting never happened. "We never were able to talk because, look, I was so busy. I think it would have been maybe disrespectful to the importance of this meeting with Xi." Still, Trump emphasized his great relationship with Kim and said he would return to Asia soon to continue discussions on denuclearization. This decision signals that for now, U.S.-China relations, not North Korea, are the centerpiece of Trump's Asia strategy. This meeting represents more than just trade numbers or tariff percentages. It's about power, influence, and diplomacy. China and the United States remain the world's two largest economies, and every shift in their relationship ripples across global markets. For Trump, this meeting was about showing strength through negotiation, projecting control at a time when the U.S. faces domestic challenges, including a prolonged government shutdown and growing economic strain. For Xi, for his part, it was about signaling stability and cooperation amid growing pressure from the West and slowing Chinese growth. If the commitments on fentanyl and rare earths hold, this could mark the first real thaw in U.S.-China tensions in years. But as experts point out, the key test will be in implementation. As President Trump put it, amazing meetings can make for powerful headlines. But only time will tell whether this one delivers lasting results for the global economy, the fight against fentanyl, and the future of U.S.-China relations. One thing's for sure, the world is watching. Now it's your turn. Do you think this agreement represents real progress, or just another short-term truce in a long trade war? Comment your thoughts below. And before you go, make sure to like this video, subscribe to America Today, and turn on notifications so you don't miss our deep dives into the world's biggest headlines. Until next time, stay informed, stay curious, and thank you for watching.